Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How you doing? Boy, do we have some exciting things happening tonight. So first of all, Rizzo is here with us, as is Driscoll, who is Eddie's dog. And he's, is he an English Bulldog?
English Bulldog, yeah.
English Bulldog, and he's a big guy.
Baby
and
Hippo.
he's not having Rizzo right now. He's like, well, he might have her for dinner, but he's thinking. So Rizzo's up here for now. So these three guys, let me just introduce you. We have Eddie Logan.
Hello.
We have George Lepore.
Hey.
Did I say it right, George?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have Brian Riordan.
Hello.
So they are my friends, and they
And one baby.
and there he is. That's Driscoll. And this is, everybody knows Rizzo. Oh my God, Driscoll. He looks good on camera.
He does, doesn't
He
he?
really does.
Takes after his
White's
father.
his color.
Very handsome. So I was talking to Eddie, and I said I know Eddie in one way, but I didn't realize that he just created, invented this product, and George is in on it with him. Mm-hmm. And Brian has thrown inspiration in there. And so I said, you know what? You have to come on the show and talk about this, because this, first of all, we've never done a dog show. So this is going to be dog stuff. So if you're dog people out there, and let me say hi to some of our people that come in every week. So Anthony Fett has joined us. Hi, Anthony. Lisa Lem Cheney has joined us. Darius Frowner. Hi, Darius. Scott Evan Davis, Anderson Lim, and Chris DePiero so far have joined us. So people will join us, and most of my friends are dog. Either they own a dog or they love dogs. So you can't go wrong with that. So I know Eddie to be, and he was in advertising, and George, same thing with you, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you were advertising guys. And then, and the Chip's in the audience. That's all right, Chip. He's watching the show. And then Brian, I know Brian because Brian.
Well, one of our users is one of the people watching.
One of the people watching, Darius Frowner, is our mutual buddy.
Yeah.
So he introduced me to Brian. And then Brian at the time was doing murals for a store. And my niece happened to work in the store in Massachusetts. It was like this random thing.
Right.
So they met. Hi, Susie. Catherine joined. Chip. Hi, Chip. He's in our 3 guns. Susie joined.
Hi, Chip.
So
There's
there's Chip. Hi, Chip.
Chipper.
Chip's got a nice tan. He's in Miami. Looks great. So anyway, they were working at the same store. So my niece Leah, maybe she'll join us tonight.
Wow.
And wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be
Sometimes she
nice.
comes on. Yeah, that's my niece. That's in the picture. I have that picture up of Brian. Everybody is always like, who's that handsome guy? Anthony Fiorentino. Anthony Fiorentino, I want to have you on the show. He's an incredible chef. There is Brian and my niece Leah. Yes, I have that up.
This is where he's modeling.
Peggy joined. Stephen Faust joined. So, okay, let's start with Eddie. So, Eddie, you were telling me, we're standing at the bar, and you're telling me about this new thing that you invented.
Right.
And I didn't even know that you did this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So why don't you just, first of all, I love the story. Today we were talking on the phone, and you told me about what your inspiration was for this product. And it was, who was your inspiration there?
This big guy right here. I was, I was in advertising for a long time. George was in advertising for a long time. And I got a dog to sort of see if I could basically test myself out as a parent. And I realized soon after getting an English Bulldog 8 years ago how ill-prepared I was, how confused I was. And so it's sort of like I went from sort of kind of a basic normal life, sometimes lonely, to feeling pretty alive like 8 years ago. And one thing led to another.
And anybody that has a dog can attest to that. It's scary when you first get a dog, especially a puppy, and you think, what have I done?
I know.
Oh my God, can I give this thing back? Because you don't know what to do.
I know.
Hi, Linda. Linda's just joined us. She's got a dog. We're talking about dogs tonight. So at first you think, what have I done? This is a lot of responsibility. And then a little at a time, I have a friend, George, my friend George Penny said to me, you're just going to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
You're a good person. You'll be a good dog parent. You're going to know what to do. Just, listen to other people that have dogs. And I asked a lot of people. So it came from that, right,
Yeah.
Eddie? You told me it came from like wanting to be a better dog parent.
Yeah, just basically was, I really truly was, what was the word you said to me that I was like, I was basically clueless. I honestly got a dog because I thought it's time. I had a health crisis, and I thought it's time to get outside of myself and see if I could actually be a parent. And I was going to do this as a test to sort of maybe see if I could have a child. Well, that's failed miserably because I created a monster. But it just is the truth. But
Easy.
But I basically realized pretty quickly, despite growing up with dogs my whole life, I basically realized just how ill-equipped I was, and more importantly,
well, what part of you was ill-equipped?
I didn't know I didn't know where to go to find information. I didn't know who to trust. You go to vets, and vets were helpful, but they oftentimes are trying to sell you something too. Nothing against vets because they're perfect.
Right. They're doing their job.
But you just you didn't know. I didn't like, you remove. I remember I moved into a building, and they offered a concierge service to get everything set up. So moving into a building, but when you have a living, breathing thing that really depends entirely on you, there's no one to really help you. There's no one to really do that. And in the process, I realized that there are a lot of things out there that they're selling you a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff that's being sold.
Oh, that's a chew toy. Oh, I love it. I thought he was crying, but he's not.
So they sell. There's a lot of selling going on,
right?
But not a lot of solving and not a lot of servicing. And you can buy 10,000 versions of this leash or that collar or this dog walker or that, and that's all great. But there just were some basic, really frustrating things, like every day, as a pet parent, that I couldn't find solutions for.
Okay.
So
and you created this. So this is one of the things that was frustrating, and you created a product from frustration. You created something, and now you were telling me on the phone that you've created a whole line of things. You can't talk about the line yet till you launch it.
Right.
And when is this launching?
So we're going to be actually in stores, online in stores, Container Store, Bed Bath & Beyond, obviously Amazon, Chewy, Etsy. Where else are we going to be?
Okay, so let's bring George in for a second here.
Yeah.
So George, you are the creative director of this launch, right?
Yeah, it started out.
Tell me what because I know you guys have been friends forever and worked together forever. So on this particular project, what would you call yourself?
I would probably say creative director.
Okay, that's what I would call you too.
The one thing that attracted me to this was the fact that I love dogs.
And you have a dog.
And I have a dog.
You're going to bring Finny, but Finny doesn't feel well.
Finny's got a cold. At one point I had 3 schnauzers, and then they passed. But now I've got Finny, and what I loved about being able to do this was that it's about dogs. And I can understand some of the frustrations that Ed was having because of the fact that there are so many things that you don't know about. And to Ed's point regarding products were products for product's sake. And it was either something that was a novelty or something that, would adorn the pet or would just, get them to play and not engage with you.
Right.
And when you had
gimmicky, a lot of gimmicky.
Yeah. And so what we realized was that there was this opportunity to not only educate pet parents, but also to really help with how to continue to, take care of the everyday things and give you more time to engage with your pet, more time to play with your pet.
Yeah, right? More time to be a parent, right?
Exactly. More get out and experience the enjoyment for being a pet owner, as opposed to having to stay inside and deal with all of the necessities that took up a lot of time.
Okay, so a lot of people have joined us, and most of the people I'm looking at here are all dog owners or dog lovers. So this is great.
How can you tell?
Because I know a lot of them.
You know these people.
I know a lot of these people. Sometimes people will come on. Yeah, sometimes people will come on that I don't know, but I do know a lot of these people. Oh, okay. So actually, let the guys know that you're there. If you own a pet, click the like. Or either the love or the like. Maria. No, listen. And then it all comes around. It comes to the bottom.
Yeah.
All right. So you created this line.
Yes.
And tell me the name of the line. There they are. See, they're all coming on.
Yeah.
Look at that. These are all dog people.
Oh,
dog owners.
I love it.
So if you own a dog, that's what I was asking because these are all people that own dogs.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
So basically what happened, right? Just like to kind of get you asked the line, right?
Yeah, please.
So basically what happened was, so everybody gets into the dog ownership at some point, right?
Yeah. And
there's a lot of resources out there. And there's a lot of things that you can get for the dog to buy for all sorts of different things. And there's a lot of people that are there to help you. But like everything on the web, the more the stuff there is, the harder to find what you need.
Yes.
And then I realized that's great. You can go find it and information and all of that and other people. And frankly, the people that were the most helpful to me, I think, and you agree too, were like other pet parents at the dog park.
Yes, absolutely.
So
because we all experience the same kind of frustrations and the same kinds of things that
we want
to hear.
And it's almost like a focus group that you just happen to come upon. Right.
And then there were these like
people too when you just out walking your dog.
That's one of the best ways to get a date is to have a dog. Walk down the street, everybody wants to talk to you.
Right.
So what happened were, in addition to that, there was a lot of just, I mean, literally, I don't try to give you examples, but there were just really basic, frustrating things that were frustrating me that the industry hadn't thought of because they're thinking about what's the next bangle and bobble and all of that. And some of the stuff is great. So I'll give you the first example. The first thing that I had was, the poop bags, the rolls of poop bags.
Yeah.
And you have
and we all carry them.
And there's 100.
In the city we do it. And a lot of people, there are people out there that like you have big backyards and all that. But in the city, in most cities, you walk your dog.
Right.
And you most of those people have those bags that you carry around. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the bag industry, unfortunately, because they contribute to the to landfills, it's really unfortunate. It's $195 million business.
Wow.
But so I would go buy these poop bags. Unfortunately, I hate having to contribute to landfills, but there was nothing else you could do because it's a $1,000 fine. In New York City. And so I'd buy these bags, I'd buy the rolls, and I put one in the leash, which always broke. It always broke within a week or two, and then it would spook Driscoll because he's a bulldog, and it would spin around. But I had all these other rolls of bags. Right. So hand me that little bag.
Oh God,
and it literally, they'd be all over the place. Now, this is going to sound to most people like, oh, it's just like such a simple thing. But
but a lot of people are very organized. I'm not one of those people. So, I'm a little, but I'm trying. My New Year's resolution is to get more organized.
Right.
And this would be one of those things. If you look at my kitchen, I have a big bag of bags.
Right.
And it drives people crazy that are organized.
Right.
So this is a perfect. So this is.
So well, I thought it was crazy because I thought because George is the most organized human being in the world, and I thought I thought only I'm having this problem because I'm like you, I'm not organized. The problem was the basic problem was I have all these other rolls. And one day I reached up in the closet in the shoebox where all these rolls were, and they literally fell out like this. And it's like, if you're a pet parent that has experienced the rolls of these bags unraveling or being in containers like this and being in your briefcase, do a little light thing across the bottom. And so I said, there was no dispenser for the home. There was no place to organize it.
Right.
So a really simple product, a really simple fix to a frustrating problem is to where do you put the rolls? And so we created this little thing that holds up to 5 rolls. Or you put 4 rolls and you put it up against, so let's call it, and you put it up against.
Okay, so let's show this. So the back of this has little holes for, you could, nails go in, right?
Yeah, little screws.
Or screws, okay. Yeah. And then, so it's on your wall, and then the rolls, they line up here.
Right. They load from the top.
Go ahead. Show us how that works.
Yeah, so basically what you do is you've got your roll, right? So you've got your roll here. And then what you do is you take off the little tape that comes on the roll.
Okay.
And then you load them from top down, all the way down to the bottom, so it's facing front.
Okay, wonderful.
And then,
and then look at how easy that is.
And then this one actually has the one that's poking through.
Okay.
So once all of these are rolled and you've got it on a solid surface, and whether it's on a closet door or on the wall next to where you have your leash and other pet products, and it holds to the door, and it's not going to work well this way because it's
not anchored. It's not anchored.
You just basically will pull one of these bags out and snap it, and it's already in your hand.
That's it. You have it. Right? Now you're organized.
Organized.
So the whole thing about, everybody's always having these resolution things, right? At New Year's, and one of the ones that is most popular, and because it's the most frustrating. For me, it's always the same thing. Getting organized.
Right.
So that's one of those great things that would be you hang it by your door on the way out. I would put it by the leashes.
Right.
Yeah. And then boom, you take 1 or 2 and you leave the house. You don't have to keep the roll in your pocket. Because I would keep them in my pocket and then drop them, leave them somewhere else, leave them in the car. So this is a great idea.
Or I'd reach up, and this sounds crazy, but I'd reach up to go out. I live next to Central Park, and I'd go out every day, and I'd reach up to go grab one, and they'd be gone. And I'd be like, oh, damn, I'm out of them. And if I had $1 for every time someone in the park said, oh, excuse me, do you have a poop bag I can have? And it was just driving me crazy.
Also, what I like about this is you load four in at a time. So you can start to see when you're down, you're low.
Yeah, that was the other thing. So it's convenient, it's organized, they're right there. There's a hook, 2 hooks on the bottom to hold 2 hooks on the bottom here to hold the leash. So it's right there. And so you walk out, you always grab them when you walk out the door. You always know as the rolls go down, you know how many more rolls you have. Right. There's a little website thing you can order them and have them drop ship. And the bags, by the way, that we're working with, we partnered with a company. We were going to create our own bags. And we partnered with a company. It's the only compostable bag So there's biodegradable bags, and then there's compostable bags.
Okay, and I want you to. I also want you to talk about.
It's called the poop chute, by the way.
Brian, I'm going to hand you Rizzo for a minute here. Rizzo is up here because Driscoll wants the floor to himself right now, so we don't want to leave. Rizzo might be dinner eventually. Okay, so I want, George, exactly what I was thinking. Okay, so they're going to launch this line in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
And this is the name of the product. Look at this. It's POOPCHUTE.
Poop chute.
That is the name of the product. Okay, how cute is that?
We were dissuaded from doing that initially because they thought when you do it, you'd get German porn or something like that.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's what they said.
George created. He did the logos, right, George?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, now this, I love this too. So here's what the box is gonna. Oh, this is what the box is gonna look like. Hold on a second. So I'm gonna hold this up, and that's what your box is going to look like when you go to the store.
Yep.
Oh my God, look at what that says. Keeps your shit together.
We have some little marks there.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
So you're both always ready to roll.
You're
and
always
there's the box.
Oh my God, you're both always ready to roll. And look at this. I love this logo. So it's Merriview Hill. You see the dog chasing the box up the ball up the hill. This is so great. That's their logo for their company.
So every other week there was like another product idea. How do I keep my treats together without having my treats go through the wash in my pant pocket?
Right.
How can I customize treats? How can I keep my dog cool in the summertime because we can go out in the heat longer. All sorts of different basic things that were problems that I was solving. And I said, we didn't want to create a company of more things to sell. We wanted to create a company where people would use these products and people would say there was a need for it.
Okay.
Now, it's not for everybody. Some people love the leash holder. I can't stand it. They break all the time. So what we decided to do is we decided to name the company Merriview Hill. And Merriview Hill is just the name of my parents' property in Massachusetts in Newburyport, and it's the view. It stands for View of the Merrimack.
Oh wow!
It sounds really highfalutin, but it's a little tiny cottage about the size of this box.
Okay.
And all of our dogs used to run up and down and go in there. So we call it Merriview Hill. So that's the kind of the brand name, and the tagline is "Products for a Dog's Life." And it's really kind of product for a dog's life and a passion for parents.
I love it. I love it. So this is something that I want you guys to keep an eye out for, and when you do find it. Linda, I like that too. It keeps your shit together. That is fantastic. I love it. So be looking for Merriview Hill. These are products created by Eddie Logan and George Lepore, and a lot of great stuff is coming up the hill, down the hill, up the pike, down the pike. So keep an eye out for that.
Can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
So we've got about 12 ideas. And we truly are not trying to build a whole thing the world doesn't need more pet products. We are truly, we've got about 12 ideas. We've got 3 of them are patented.
Okay.
And the litmus test for us to decide whether we're going to pursue it and design it and launch it is whether it actually when we test it, and we tested these in research, a lot of research, if people don't say, geez, I thought they already had that, or why shouldn't they have that? I wish they had that sooner.
Right.
And our whole idea is very simple. The premise is very simple. We want to take the chaos, the confusion, and ultimately the cost out of being a pet parent. And that's kind of a key. That's a pivotal word, cost, because it's very expensive to have a pet.
Absolutely, more than anybody would ever think.
These are products that we're selling, but they're really, the point is the revenue that we're gonna raise for these is gonna go to 3 places.
Okay.
We're gonna put 20% of the net proceeds are gonna be going to help. We're gonna do a version of the poop chute called it's gonna be camouflage, and the bags are camouflage.
I love this idea very much. So tell us about that.
It's called the Call of Duty version.
Oh my
Call
God.
of Duty.
That's fantastic.
And George came up with that.
George,
And
that's why George is the creative director.
And 20% of the net profits are going to go to help servicemen and women adopt their service dogs.
Okay, so please say this again. This is very important.
Yeah, so
because we all love our servicemen and women very much.
Totally.
I don't know anybody that doesn't. And if you don't, something's wrong with you. So let's just put that out. So once again, tell us that last thing you said. This is really important.
So again, it's very simple. Wow. Very simple. There's 12 product ideas right now. The idea for these product ideas is that they're going to fund a much bigger idea that's totally around, that we can't talk about it yet, but it's really cool.
It's very cool.
And it's totally going to drive the chaos, the confusion, but most importantly, the cost out of the system.
Okay.
Like out of the
Or
system.
at least minimize
Take some of the cost out for pet parents.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add in what we're going to bring to it is a bit more of sort of convenience, customization, and creativity and community. And one of the things we're to do is if we don't, we're going to try to give as much as we get. I know everybody says that, but that's what we're committed to. So 20% of all net profits for all of the products are going to go help to. We have a loyalty program called Poop Loot.
I love it.
And 20% of all those net profits are going to go to, direct to shelters of your choice.
Wonderful.
And then we have, like I said,
and the service dogs. You said for servicemen.
We're going to do a camouflage version.
Okay, this is
and we're
great.
going to call it the Call of Duty Poop Shoot.
Okay, so it's going to be a box like this, but it's going to be a camouflage.
The actual product.
The product itself.
This
is going to
product
be
will be camouflage, and the bags that are sold will be camouflage.
Okay, and that goes.
And that actually is going to 20% of the net profits for that are going to go to help servicemen and women adopt service dogs.
Amazing. So Armed Radio. That one's for you.
And we're launching it on the Intrepid at Fleet Week. A friend of
Oh
ours.
my God, this is fantastic.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. A friend of ours is
great.
Guy John Mustin is an admiral in the Navy, so he's going to help us get that done.
We have lots of service people out there that listen to our show, so this is really a cool thing.
That was just coincidental that we did that with.
You didn't even know that,
No.
but when you got here, I said, "Oh, they're going to love this because you know we love our servicemen and women."
We see those stories. We were really moved by those stories.
I know.
I think we
I
were
am
getting
too.
watching those.
Some of those
folks.
videos.
I know. I just donated to Wounded Warrior last week because
But they're like with the dog. They're with the dog the
know.
whole time. The dog is the hero, and then suddenly I don't understand. They have no money to adopt the dog. And then they're separated. So
I know
it's a small contribution, but
it's
Well,
wonderful.
It's an important contribution, right? Because the bond that people make when they're dogs, as you know, continues on for a lifetime, for their lifetime, but then of course ours for.
And the only last thing I'd say, it sounds like marketing speak, but the only other thing I would say is this. And I know I was afraid when we started I wasn't going to talk enough. Now I can't stop talking.
It's okay. I told you.
The only thing is, I know
relax.
everybody says this, but if you look at all of the ideas we have, and I wish we could talk about it because it doesn't make sense, but when you look at all of them in totality, the idea is that we're trying to want to take a little bit more of there's a lot of selling and not a lot of solving and not a lot of servicing to pet parents. And that's what this is going to be about. We're going to make money doing it, and we're going to, it's going to be good. But we're going to have a lot of other pet parents that are going to make money doing it as well.
Okay, great, wonderful, wonderful. Big hand for Merriview Hill, everybody! Yay! And Chip, and this is great things you're having. Chip, you are wonderful back there. You are fanning. You're taking care of Driscoll. You're fanning.
Come here.
What do you think's happening with Driscoll? Do you think he just
know.
feels trapped, or
I know exactly
does he want to go for a walk?
Hey, Driscoll.
Maybe he needs a poop shoot bag.
No,
Oh no, he's got his
got
toy.
toy.
He found the two. He
He's
found
got-
his own toy. Listen, I'm going to give him that.
He's got Rizzo.
Because it's too big for Rizzo anyway.
Oh, come here. Come on.
Oh my God,
Can
he's
you have
so
some
cute.
camera time one more time?
Of course, bring him up here.
So Driscoll was the inspiration.
Driscoll was the inspiration.
One of the products is called Driscoll's Dressings because he has a digestive problem.
Oh, okay.
And I created it in my NutriBullet, and it solved his digestive problem.
Wow.
And so we have these things called Driscoll's Dressings that are like additives that don't change the pH balance of the food.
Oh my
So it
God,
helps
this is so great.
And it's good for dogs that are at end of life that won't eat anymore, and it's good for dogs like George's dog that are finicky. Driscoll, why
Wow.
don't you
So
wanna get
Finny
from
is
there?
finicky?
Well,
finicky.
she's a
Finicky.
grazer. Some dogs, when you put the food down, they just automatically go for it. She will go in there and she'll eat a little bit, then she'll walk around, she'll come back and she'll eat a little bit more. But what I usually do sometimes too, it is not really kind of a Driscoll's dressing kind of thing, but when you open up a can of tuna or a can of chicken, right? And you get the water. I pour that on top of her dog food. She goes crazy, and it's so good for them because it's water and it's got all the protein in there and everything.
Wow.
And she loves it. So
that's a Driscoll's dressing.
Well, it's a
version of
Driscoll's dressing.
When we thought of it, there was George had a dog that was finicky and every couple of weeks wouldn't eat, so we tried to put a spray of a version on it for his, and the dog was, and a friend of mine whose dog was dying and wouldn't eat, and they said they'd give him 3 weeks to live, and so we wanted to make the last couple of weeks okay, and so we sprayed his version of it on Driscoll of his dog, and the dog lived for 8 months. Now I'm sure it wasn't Driscoll's dressing. It's just a small thing, and then we have custom treats, and in the website we're going to have is things to customize. So really make things personal and customized. So instead of just ubiquitous, organic and holistic treats, we're going to do treats that can be customized a dozen different ways for your dog, for the age of your dog, for the dog's mouth, for the strength of the teeth.
That's amazing.
And those are called You Choose. Get it? You Choose. You Choose.
You guys this is really
good
and
those
stuff.
Those are delivered in what we call a pet pezzer. You remember the Pez dispenser?
Yes.
So those are going to be delivered in a pet pezzer with a little version of your dog's head as the Pez popped up.
Oh no, this is crazy. I'm buying that.
Yeah, and then
I love this.
That way the You Choose will come every month, and they'll be in the pezzer, and you can pop them out. They can put in the visor of your car. You can put them on your belt. You just don't have them in your pant pocket.
This is really making life simple, but it's also.
Well, I'm going to be in deep trouble. My business partner is going to say I said too much.
You talk about
I don't know, but
don't say anything else.
All right, that's it.
There's
Okay.
a lot more great products.
All right, and you're going to get to know about it in a few weeks when Merriview Hill launches.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'm very honored that you guys decided to come on my show and talk about this.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Now I want to switch over to Brian.
Oh, no.
You want to get my seat?
No, you just, let him just. He's great back there. So Brian is I met Brian through my friend Darius, and my niece also knows Brian. And Brian, at the time, I don't know if you're still doing it, but you were creating and painting these amazing, gigantic scale murals, right? Wall murals.
Yeah, I'm a decorative painter.
Okay, decorative painter.
Yeah, so and I also work for a very popular neighborhood grocery store that I'm sure a lot of your listeners might know. I don't know if I should
You can say it.
Okay, so I'm the regional muralist for Trader Joe's in Boston, and I do stores all over. And now it's not just the region, all over New England.
All over. And bring up your voice a tiny bit, Brian.
Okay, and now it's not just New England, but it's also bearing off into DC and a few New York stores. And
so let me stop you for 1 second. So when you go to Trader Joe's, which is one of my favorite stores, you go to Trader Joe's and you see all those murals. This is the guy that paints them. Not well, maybe not in New Jersey, but you do, Brian. You create them. You come up with the concept, right?
Sure do.
They're the most, honestly, the most beautiful.
They're amazing.
The most beautiful, intricate murals you've ever seen.
So
maybe Da Vinci.
And then, but there's also a connection to the store, right? Talk a little bit about that, because I think that's important. The subject matter of what you do is actually indicative of the store or the neighborhood or whatever that you do.
Right, for each neighborhood.
And,
thank you, George.
Just a little bit of a backstory. I started becoming a decorative painter about 20 years ago. I had a great mentor and I worked with him side by side. And we painted a lot of restaurants, a lot of fun stuff. But I never really had that advertising bent. And then I got to Trader Joe's and it was like, oh, wow, I really have to kind of promote, one specific thing.
Right.
And what Trader Joe's is all about is just, your neighborhood grocery store. And it's kind of kitschy and they have this Hawaiian bent. And then you also, have to be neighborhood identity. So whatever store I'm working on has to kind of reflect the neighborhood. And I'm kind of like the big picture guy. Now, all Trader Joe's have a store artist. Does the signs, the chalkboards, things like that.
Right.
But I'm more or less, I don't know. I come up with the ideas.
I love it, and I've seen some of them because I used to follow. I used to follow your stuff.
This is actually in New York, so I did its Grand Central Station.
Oh my God! Okay, so Grand Central Station. We'll hold that up. I don't know if you can see that, but Brian creates these, and then he paints them.
That's about 30.
How big is that?
How big is that?
I don't know. It's about 15 feet tall, about 20 feet wide. Oh, look at all my hearts!
I know.
Wow, look at him.
That's
Nice, Brian. Look at that.
Show him another one. Brian's is.
Oh, look at the little hearts.
Yeah, they're loving
You got more
your
hearts than the poop shoot did.
I can't
Holy
believe it.
moly.
And then you did some in Maine. You did some in in Cambridge. Brookline, and I love you did like a baseball theme in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Boston Marathon.
Boston Marathon. He does. So if you walk into a Trader Joe's and you see the stuff, that's Brian's work.
But I can say something about
I
Brian.
have to give credit where credit's due because there's a lot of artists that work for Trader Joe's, and they're just a unique store to work for, and
So he's the most humble human being on the planet. I just want to say something. He really is the most humble human being on the planet.
I know he is.
And like
I thought I was.
well, you're right up there.
Okay.
It's not me already.
His
I'll
stuff
tell you
is so
that.
good. But
We're in the front here. You see,
what he taught us, what he taught all of us is that, especially me, is I'm not really a creative person, and I was sort of having misgivings about doing the business because a lot of it's sort of creative. and he sort of inspired me and said, everybody has creativity. There's an element of creativity in everybody, and that sounds really mushy, but that was
I believe
how
it
inspired us.
I believe that. That's what my whole show is about. Creative people and the creative things we do. And sometimes people will say, "Oh, I can't come on your show. I'm not creative." And I think, "Are you kidding me? Absolutely."
But he said, go for it. Like he said, go for this. Like you should just go for this. It
was an idea. You had it. You shared it with someone. George is great. Look at you're so lucky you have George here. And
so George is the creative brains behind everything. He really is. You are the creative brains, but he's been the creative inspiration to say, "Hey, you can do it. Trust in yourself. Just kind of throw caution to the wind." And it's really helped to advance everything. But then you put everything into a framework that kind of made sense. That actually, you know what I mean?
And it's so much fun. It's such a different thing to do when you're doing something for somebody you love or something you love, as well as just being really creative, as well as doing it with friends. So when you put all those together, it's such a package of success and inspiration and just joy.
Yes,
what we try to promote with what we do internally is also what we want to help promote for owners and their pets.
And the kind of thing, by the way, too, he came up with this thing because in addition to just being, not just business folks and creative folks, but we're all pet parents, so we kind of call ourselves the dog fathers.
I love that.
Yeah. So
did you hear that?
They live the hearts.
Oh my God! They call themselves the dog fathers.
Dog fathers.
And so, oh my God.
So and so
this
we
is
have
fantastic.
Yep.
I love it.
So right now I don't have a dog.
But you're a dog uncle. You're a dog uncle right now.
I love all animals. And I actually
you have a cat though, right?
Myself as a cat person.
Yeah.
And I am a cat person.
Well, cats are great.
We love cats too. We love cats.
We love cats.
If you guys have cats out there,
look at all the hearts.
If you guys have cats out there, we need people to help us translate some of these ideas to the cat world because I don't know cats as much. So
well, I can tell you,
write to us
one of my friends, Roberta McGoldrick, who is also from Massachusetts, but she lives in New York. She would be a great person because she's had cats all her life. And I can definitely hook you up with some cat people because and my friend Billy Goffey and all that. So they're looking up certain. We're
trying to figure out he's trying to add hearts.
Oh no,
that's what we need is more cat. I do like cats. A lot of dog people don't like cats, right?
I don't mind it. I've had cats like with roommates and stuff, but I just have always been a dog person.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that you don't like cats or that cat people don't like dogs.
What do you think the difference is between cat people and dog people?
Well,
who's more like obsessed with their
I'm definitely like.
What do you think, Brian? Why don't you jump in, Brian? Jump in. So Brian's being the cat right now.
I'm a cat person. That is me. And I love dogs, but I think people tell me that I'm a little bit more relaxed.
Okay.
And then I have my two friends here who are like, all the time.
You know what? You might be right.
Chill one, and
I'm not chill. So
Brian's like, at what point can I get a bark into the whole conference?
Wow.
That's well done.
Wow. Slid that right in.
I know.
All right. So, George, I want to talk about you here. So you have always been the organized person. And you, as growing up as a kid, were you someone that was as organized even as a young George was as organized? Or?
Yeah, well, I was born into a family that was organized.
Okay, Italian, right?
Italian, exactly.
Yep.
And, even as a kid, there are certain things that I had to do that would follow a routine, but also had to be in a specific order, right? So whether I was going out to play, I had to do certain chores and things. And I was, not really obsessed with it, but I wanted to get it done quickly because I wanted to go outside.
Right.
So what I did was I figured out a way to get it done quickly. And I figured also that if it was organized, I would be able to get it done.
But he's not like an obnoxious organized person.
No.
I do it for me. Right? I don't.
Right.
I do it because it just helps me function better.
Right.
Because then I can get things done faster.
But artistically, like you created all that stuff. Like, were you an artist as a kid, or did you draw?
I mean, I always had that desire, that talent. Amazingly enough, I thought I was actually going to be a vet. Because
really?
I loved animals.
Look at how this works out.
I know. I loved animals. I loved science. But then I realized very quickly that I wasn't really good in math. I got by. But I had to have really good math scores. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, it's all it's dosages. And
yeah, exactly. So
it's really important
But then
stuff.
I just fell back into what I love doing, which was create.
Wow.
And then I just sort of left from there, sort of left off the page.
So we've been in George and I have been in advertising for 20 some odd years, and we met how many years ago? Like
you met in Massachusetts, right?
We met in Massachusetts at an agency.
20 years ago. It'll be 20 years ago this year. This year.
So you were working for the same advertising company?
Yeah, my first day I walked in, there was a big group meeting, and I see this tall drink of water, And I did. I looked over and I just saw this guy, and he's on the creative side, and he'd been there for a little while longer.
Just a couple of months.
But he's incredible, and just like Brian brings out the best in people. Literally, I know that sounds so pushy, and no one's paid me to say it, but it's good to have a friend. It's good to have friends like that.
No, but you were saying we were talking earlier, Eddie, on the phone, and you were saying that how you guys all bring out good things in each other, like that they've brought out so many great things, and then I'm sure that you guys feel the same way. It's like me and Susie, like Susie Campanero. I don't know if you guys know Susie Campanero.
Yeah,
she's my best friend, and she and I are good at different things.
Yeah, right.
So when we create something, it's great because it's not that we both do the same thing exactly the same way.
Right.
We bounce each other ideas off of each other, and then she's good at taking the reins on one thing. I'm good at taking the reins on another. That's what you really need. And then when one person is kind of dragging, the other person lifts them up.
And acknowledging that the other person's like that you know what you don't know. And acknowledging that the other person is good at it.
Yeah.
And we've had our battles. We had sort of an epic battle last night, actually.
Well, you're supposed to have. I mean, real friends do have
other.
real. If you don't, then you're not really getting.
Right. Well, it's the emotion that brings out the creativity. It's the emotion that brings out the inspiration.
Absolutely.
And it also can define things very quickly and easily and frustrate, but it all works out.
And the thing that binds us, as far as not to get back to the company, but the thing that does bind us, it's not the company, it's a project, is we just have an insane obsessive love for animals.
Yeah, but that's what you have. You would have to.
Really do.
How do you not love this space?
I know. She's so sweet and so easygoing. So maybe
then Georgie and I were in an advertising
soon.
agency in Boston. Then I moved to New York, an opportunity, and I begged him to come to New York, which was really I thought it was highly unlikely that he would do it because he's so, sort of wanted to, programmatic in a sense, and was going to stay in Boston, and then he moved to New York.
Wow. George, you've been here a while though.
8 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 8 years.
Right.
It's going to be 9. It's going to be 9 this year.
And Brian, you still live in
Yeah.
Boston, but you come and visit quite often.
I still live in Boston, but every time Eddie's been trying to get me to move to New York the second that he moved here.
If you guys know anybody in theater that needs incredible theater sets, like you could do theater sets better than anybody.
And you've done sets. I've seen your sets.
I've done theater for some small theater companies in Boston. So
I've seen them.
A lot of fun.
They're incredible. So would you be considered an art director in that sense?
Oh, I don't know about that. Yes.
But yes,
and that
you would be under the art director category.
I got an eye.
You know what else? TV shows, Brian. There's a lot of TV shows in
Something I never
New York.
thought of. But Eddie has been trying to get me to move to New York as well. And I'm here over the New Year's weekend, and he's literally in the paper last night, circling apartments.
No, it's online.
With my friend Chip. He wants Chip and I to both move to.
Chip, you've known Chip now. You said.
Well, we need some.
How long have you known Chip?
Well, I've known Chip now, my buddy.
31. Chip, where are you?
And Chip, what do you do? Could you poke your head in here, Chip?
Well, he's creative as well. Yeah, I'm gonna switch.
I'll move. I'll switch.
All right, you switch for a minute, Eddie, and take
Driscoll.
Okay, you take Driscoll. So get in here. And Chip, why don't we talk about you too? You're creative in what way? I mean, I know you are, but tell us about what you do.
I'm a graphic designer.
Okay, see, this is amazing.
Art director for Ocean Drive magazine.
Here I am.
Gotham magazine. I do a lot of editorial layouts.
That's okay. That's something completely different than they do, and yet it's
I
still
work from home now, which is great.
In Miami.
In Miami Beach.
Wow.
I left there, it was 80 degrees, but
I know. See, I like the seasons.
Well, but he's from here, and so he came. He hadn't seen snow in about 12 years.
Really?
And Christmas morning in Boston,
Christmas morning.
he was so excited about the snow, and I was like, here's a shovel.
I know, because you
listen.
You get a lot of it. I mean, you get a lot. I mean, you guys in Boston. My dad's out there, and all my relatives are out there. So I was home for Christmas Day, and I helped my dad shovel. You have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What other choice do we have? Now, listen. I want to segue into our food, which is the section of our show called "Go Ahead, Keep Eating." That is the section of our show. Here, hold Rizzo for a second, Brian. Okay. So tonight, what did I make for the boys? This is just a display plate. I made a chicken with some Middle Eastern spices.
Yum.
Then yum is right. Then I have
yum,
peas, peppers, onions, and I have some delicious long grain rice here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I made a little side salad here with onions, celery, tomatoes, and
good.
Kalamata olives.
Oh,
What I'm going to put some oil and balsamic vinegar in there. So we're going to have all that, and I have Jeffrey Campbell made delicious pecan bars, so I have those.
yes.
Jeffrey's going to be on the show next week, by the way.
Ooh.
Jeffrey Campbell and Michael Plosky. They are going to be. Jeffrey plays beautiful classical piano, and he is an accountant by trade, but he's an incredible classical piano player on the off days. And then Michael Plosky is he's clothing designer, amazing clothing designer.
I think I already ate one of those.
Yeah, but that's okay. There's plenty of
Did you eat the display?
We have plenty of
Mine's
food.
Mediterranean.
And
too.
what did you bring?
That was
Tell me.
Yeah.
So Brian, I want you to tell us what you brought there.
Well, Christmas time, I do not make buy presents anymore. So, and I'm Armenian and
I
Irish,
love
but I feel all Armenian. So I made for my family. I rolled 300 grape leaves the other day.
300 grape leaves he rolled.
Except the Armenian
I have a
way,
little bit.
with lamb and mint and parsley and onion and crushed red pepper, and then you eat them hot, and
I love it.
they're just absolutely delicious.
So, oh my God, I've never had anyone make me a grape leaf.
No, I like lamb.
And
Oh,
lamb,
you
we
do?
have Eddie
Yeah.
made
Okay,
lamb.
I
I
like
like lamb too. So he also made lamb. We have so much delicious.
Kids like lamb.
And so we're from that part of the world tonight. We're going crazy. So the grape leaves, and these are all made by
Hand-rolled.
Brian, hand
Hand-rolled.
rolled by Brian.
I put Chip to work before Christmas,
Shit.
and he was rolling them like
Like an Armenian
like
lady.
joint, like an old Armenian
Amazing.
lady, or like a drug dealer, like
I
joints.
love it. I love it.
He
All
was
right.
good by the end. He was like, at first they were, by the end they were perfect.
All right. The
So-
only problem is if we're talking back there, it's going to interfere with what's happening. That's okay,
No.
because we're just having a party here. But then it's just going to be on the podcast. It might be a little jumbled. So again, I want to spell out this because you guys on Facebook will see this, but I want to spell it out for our radio listeners. I'll get that in a minute. So George, why don't you spell? I'm going to hold this up, and why don't you spell out for our radio listeners what this is?
So it is the word Merriview that goes across the bottom, almost like a landscape, and then the word hill actually creates a hill because the ascenders in the letters actually sort of start reaching up.
I love it.
And then across the landscape, you have this dog that is running and then actually starting to charge up the hill, and the dot in the eye actually becomes the ball that the dog is running after.
Okay, so that's
there's a lot of movement.
I love this. So it's MERRIVIEW. Okay.
Merriview Hill.
Merriview.
Can I read really this to tell you what it is?
Yes, please.
So, hey again. So on the back of the package it says "Come," and it's about play, and it just is a little tiny thing we're toying with about the story of Merriview Hill, and it just says real quickly. It says, "Merriview Hill is an imaginary mini mountain where dogs and humans meet to be at their best together.
I love it.
Here we don't work, we don't wait, we don't worry, and we always have plenty of time and tennis balls. Everything we do and make and think is meant to bring humans and dogs more closely together, making your canine-oriented life more easy and organized.
Wow.
So you and your dog can just go play. That's where we are here. That's where we are, outside on Merriview Hill, waiting for you."
I love it. That is so fantastic.
No, we didn't.
Who wrote that? It's beautiful.
Our copywriter guy.
Wow.
Creative director.
Wonderful.
Was directed by George. So
Well, of course, George is the creative
George
director.
did.
Wonderful job. So this is exciting. So we're going to be able to find these products again. Tell us again when we're going to
So
find
we're
them.
launching we really lucked out we partnered, I don't know how we did it. We partnered with, I think, the best poop bag company, the first ones that ever sold online. And like you said, they're the only ones. They're called poopbags.com. And they're
Okay.
the only ones that are compostable. So they actually disintegrate within 30 minutes. And some version of them are flushable. So we're going to be
Wow.
partnering with them. And so they are getting us into all of their distribution, which is normally hard. So we'll be in Amazon, obviously. We'll be in Chewy. We will be in Etsy. We will be in Walmart, WalmartCanada.com. We're going to be in Bed Bath & Beyond. We're going to
Okay.
be in Target,
Container store, you said?
Kroger's, Container Store.
You know
Yeah,
what?
it's
He
gonna ramp
probably
up.
found some toys on
Sorry.
there. Oh, that's what it is.
It's going to ramp up. So our website, MerriviewHill.com, will be live in about 2 weeks. Poopshoot.com will be live in a few weeks. And then
Wow.
our big reveal, which is more about kind of cost savings and bringing the community together to help empower other people, other pet parents who have ideas, because everybody has an idea.
Right,
And
of
so we want to
course.
try to help them to launch those ideas
Oh, wow.
without taking any of the proceeds from us, just helping them be more successful.
Oh
And
my God, this is so
It's gonna happen.
great.
Yeah, we're
It
psyched
really
about
is a community, like you
Yeah.
said.
We're psyched about it.
Okay, so that's coming up soon. Driscoll is having a ball here because this
I'm sorry,
apartment.
is that too loud?
No, you know what it is? The apartment has so many things. Like there's always something.
Let me
going
move
on,
him in
and
the
there's
other
a lot
room.
of.
I'll give him one more close up, and then we can say.
All
goodbye
right,
to him.
sure.
Come on, Driscoll.
Come here, Driscoll.
Driscoll, come here.
He is an English bulldog. No.
Yeah, he's part hippo and part English bulldog.
Okay, great.
Driscoll, come
All
here.
right, so next week, because we're coming, we got about 10 minutes left. Next week, I have Jeffrey Campbell and Michael Plosky. And then the week after that, I'm going to hold on the week after that because I'm still scheduling that. But so if you want to watch us, come to Facebook Live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then you can also go to armeddigitalmedia.com. Oh, boy, oh, my God, look at Driscoll. He just went flying through the air.
Who is that?
Oh, my God.
my goodness
He went
gracious.
flying through the
Say
air.
hi. I'm going to put him in the other room.
All right,
All right,
okay.
Driscoll's time for bed. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Driscoll.
Oh, my
Good
God.
night. All right.
So the armeddigitalmedia.com, you can also listen to us live there. Then you can go to Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com. That goes in podcast about 6 hours later. Also, we're on iHeartRadio now. So just type in, when you get to Spreaker or iHeartRadio, you type in "What's the Story with Maria," and the show will come right up. And we have all our episodes archived already. So this is episode 25. So we appreciate you guys coming back week after week after week. And George, you live in the city now.
I do.
Okay, and you are you working full time?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So
I'm
you're
working-
always working and creating, always.
Always. I like to say that creative people, anybody who's creative, is always faced every day with a blank piece of paper, a blank canvas, a blank wall.
Wow.
That
is so true. Oh my God.
Exactly. And you have to, you're challenged with what you want to put on that piece of paper, or what it is that you want to draw, or what it is that you want to put on some sort of large format canvas or anything that you can create on. And as creative folks, we're challenged every day to do something either different or to add on to what we did yesterday. So it's that is the challenge for me, and being able to be creative actually helps me to make a difference.
Wow.
Right? To affect change. So
yeah, and you're right about that blank piece of paper. There's always somebody. I mean, if you're working you work on a project, it's always that. Oh my God, I have to. My mind has to create something that's going to go on that.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of stress behind that, but.
Yes.
But I also, there's such a reward that goes with it. And Chip, why don't you get in here too? Get in here. Because sit here, Chip. So you're a graphic designer. So it's the same thing. Do you get projects from people where they say, I need this done, and then you have to come up with a creative idea, right?
All the time.
All the
Except
time.
sometimes when they say make it the pony pink and this, they go
Right.
crazy.
So they'll give you some stuff. And were you always a creative kid as well?
I went to school for business.
But that's good. That's kind of good.
Sometimes marketing,
right.
And what happened was I was doing my term papers, and I saw this one room with all these Macintosh computers, and I designed my cover sheet, and I taught myself.
Wow.
All the Adobe programs.
That's amazing. And that was before everybody was doing them.
Right.
Too.
A little bit before the web.
Yeah. I was going to say that
for the interwebs.
Oh my God. Like now it's getting easier and easier, but people that were doing graphic design, before everybody else could just, before they had all these programs that just make life so simple. So, the creative thing, I find, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, that when you're faced with a deadline.
I love deadlines.
Do you?
I do. I sort of do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it forces you to do it, right?
Yeah. I'll work 12 hours, whatever it takes.
Wow.
In magazines, we have to go to print. You got to go to print.
Yeah. Oh, so, God, that's pressure.
And a lot of people don't realize that creative people do like a certain amount of boundary, right? That will help them focus on what it is they need to do. Right. So whether it's a deadline, or whether it's a timetable, or whether it's something that they need in order to really think about what it is that need to produce, it really does become.
It pushes things along.
It does push things along, because you do, especially in a business where we're all in, where the work is, I don't want to say commoditized, but it's certainly something that has to be sold, has to be reviewed, has to be presented, has to be engaged.
Right.
There's always something to do, and it continues to push things forward.
Wow. Yeah, it's. I actually like deadlines too, although they stress me out. But I do like them. So poor Driscoll in there is like No, you can let him out. Let him out. Let him out. It's not a big deal. I feel bad. He's stuck in the bedroom now. Okay, so you're going back to Miami now,
I
right?
am in a week.
In a week. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you have a week left here. And George, I want to talk about this too because you're a singer as well. You didn't bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. I know you as a singer as well, which is another creative thing. I've heard you sing. You're a great singer.
Well, the thing about that is that it's fun. It comes from the heart, and it is something that's pure joy. For me. And so I never would think that I could do it on a full-time basis. It's just something it's more personal for me.
Right.
And that's what is the most sort of profound thing for me. And having that opportunity at the duplex has been like phenomenal because I never thought I would be able to do it. And these guys have always encouraged me to do that. When I came to New York, actually before I came to New York, Brian was saying, "Oh, George, you're going to love the duplex. It's so much fun. You're going to love it." And after a few times in, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll try it." And it was a lot of fun.
Look at my big nose.
You know what's so funny? When people are on camera, they always notice these little things about themselves.
You know what thing I noticed, Maria, is I was reading all the comments for a second.
Yeah, please do. That's what I like too.
I just read them, and it's obviously, I love it how many cat owners are out there. And
what are they saying? That's great.
I love it. We love the feedback.
Gabrielle,
it's interesting. A lot of our friends have seen close friends that have been part of the building of the business. And as I said, we're not really cat owners, but we're not cat people. And they've said to us, that idea and this idea would really be helpful in the cat world. So I truly think this is not to discriminate against cats because it started out as dogs because it's what we knew.
Right.
So we wanted to build something by pet parents, for pet parents, but pet
feedback would be great.
And so we need to.
Okay, so see, my friend Leo Rodriguez, I usually acknowledge more people. It's just that we had so much going on tonight. So Leo Rodriguez is my friend. He was on the show a few weeks ago, but he posted the Merriview Hill. He posted it.
Oh, that's
great.
The link.
But they all have a lot of cat folks, which are. It's big business, but the cat parents have the same kind of challenges. Like one of my friends said to me, I'd love to have a dispenser with bags next to the litter box. And I never thought of that. Like, why would, but I don't even know. I wonder if people think that that's something. Would you need a bag?
That would work. I mean, I've had many cats, and unless you have your litter box right next to your toilet,
right?
It would be a great idea to be able to just put it in the bag and put it in the basket.
That's a great. Okay, so see what's happening. All the cat people are coming on too.
Cat parents and dog parents to kind of work together to figure out something. There's got to be a middle ground to kind of figure out something.
Sure.
Yeah.
And and it's funny too because I think there are plenty of dogs and cats that live in the same household that actually do get along. It's not. It's not always cat versus dog.
A lot of people, especially that live out in the country and stuff, a lot of people have dogs and cats. So Darius said, "Great show, guys. I was driving most of the time. Good motivational listening."
All right, thanks, Darius.
We all love Darius.
We love Darius.
Joe asked what's on the menu. Joe, I just talked about what's on the menu. Mediterranean food all around.
Right.
Grape leaves, chicken with peas and peppers and cumin and just delicious spices. And we have Mediterranean salads.
I painted Darius in one of the murals.
Can you talk about that? So you used Darius as a...
I do. I think I have the picture here somewhere.
All right. So you painted Darius in one of the murals. I think it was Maine, right?
It was, for the Portland, Maine store.
Wow.
I had to paint a 50-foot mural by about 10 feet tall. And Darius, who's a good friend of mine, I just decided to put him in a mural because he's such a handsome guy.
Yeah.
And I turned him into this New England lobster guy. Even though he's the New York piano player, I turned him into the New England lobster man. And I know that I have a picture right here. I had it ready.
That would be so great.
Yeah, it's kind of a side view, but this was part of.
So anybody that knows Darius, look at this. Brian put Darius on a mural. So hold it up.
So this was just 12 feet of a 50-foot long mural, but it's the part that Darius is in. It's from an angle, but if you can see,
okay, hold on a second.
It's kind of hard if you can get that.
Look at that.
There
he is. So people that know Darius, there's Darius holding a lobster there in Maine, Portland, Maine. If you're in the Portland, Maine Trader Joe's, you're going to see Darius on the wall holding a lobster.
And everyone knows Darius. Everyone
loves Darius. Yeah. So all right, we're winding down. We got a couple of minutes left. We had a lot of activity tonight in the house. We had we have tons of boys here. They're all boys and me, actually. Even Driscoll is a boy.
Oh.
And then Rizzo, me and Rizzo are the girls, and then all boys. So we have cat products coming down the line. There's great dog products coming down the line. And we have enjoyed our guys very, very much. So is there anything you want to say on we have a couple minutes left. You want to just close with anybody?
I would like to just plug my friend's idea here. I've been friends with both Eddie, Chip for 31 years, who's visiting, and it's so great to see him again. Eddie I've known forever, and George I've known about 20 years as well. And these guys are just so creative, and they're putting together a really wonderful product. And I know you're going to be pleased with it. There's a lot of the products that there are other things I'm not able to tell you about just yet, but once you see them, you're going to be really excited.
And also, what I got from tonight's show is, for me, I need it. Follow through. Like, I'm great with coming up with ideas and seeing the end of it, but I'm not always great with the follow through, and I'm getting better at that. And people help me. Like, I have people in my life, and Darius is one of those people. Judy Mesa is one of those people. People that really are like, no, what's your next step? What are you going to do now? You got to do this.
That's hard.
Did you make that phone call? Or did you? That's not what I'm always good at. So I'm getting better at that. And I think that's part of being creative. And it's the follow through, that's the tough stuff.
I want to apologize to Maria because she said, I'd like to bring I'd like to bring Driscoll because she's kind of the inspiration. She said, well, will it be noisy at all? No, it's pretty quiet. Well, he's knocked over everything. He's eaten half the food and he's barked. So sorry if you guys can't hear.
That's all right. Listen, that's the reality of having a pet. And Rizzo's been up here. So, Jimmy, are we closing out? All right, I think okay, thank you, everybody. We want to thank all our guys.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Corey, we got Chip, we got Eddie, we have Brian and Rizzo and Driscoll. Good night, everybody. Come back next week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We really appreciate you. Oh, my God. Okay.